Aloha and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to talk about my experience studying illustration in Japan and how I was able to do that on a full ride scholarship. But before we get to that, let me just explain what's going to be going on in the background. So here on the left is a painting that I did before going off to study, and on the right is me doing a paint over to better reflect my current skills. Okay, so back to the scholarship. It's called the Monbukagakusho Scholarship, also known as the MEXT Scholarship. You can get information on applying for it through the Japanese embassy or consulate, as the process may vary from country to country. So, after the initial application, there is a test and an interview which you should practice for if you're serious about applying. For those of you in the United States, that means studying up on English and math, as well as some Japanese. Second, if you decide to take the scholarship, make sure that you can go through with your decision, because I know some people that go home in their first year, and it's kind of a shame that another student couldn't have had this spot. If you're wondering what the scholarship covers, on top of paying for your school tuition, you also get a monthly allowance to pay for your various living expenses, such as rent, utilities, food, cell phone, and still have a little bit to save. As far as I know, you get the same amount no matter where you're placed, be it Osaka or Tokyo. And in my case, it was Tokyo. You can also get a part-time job to supplement your income, and many of my friends and I did that. The only thing though is if you do decide to do part-time work, you need to submit some paperwork to the immigration office to let them know that you're going to take on some work. I mean, it sounds pretty good, right? You get to study in Japan and get paid while doing it. Honestly, when I got the phone call, I was in such disbelief that I didn't tell my friends for like a week or something. I was thinking, oh, what if they called the wrong person? Or what if they change their mind and decide not to give me the scholarship? Anyway, that next April I was on the plane going to Japan, and this was my third time to Japan, so I wouldn't say that I was exactly culture shocked or anything, but adjusting to life in another country has its difficulties nonetheless. One thing that I was really appreciative of was that there was a lot of support for scholarship students coming from both the school that we went to and from the government. Upon arriving, someone from my school came to get me at the airport and put me on a bus so that I could meet someone else to bring me to the dorms at Kingcucco station. At the dorms, there were our dorm guardians, and we called them Otosan and Okasan. And they always helped us with everything, including government paperwork, where to go buy things, and just daily talk. This first year, I studied Japanese at a school called Bunka Institute of Language, which is affiliated with the famous Bunka Fashion College. Luckily, the dorms were not far from the school campus. At the school, we studied Japanese from Monday through Friday, and I think it was from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with an hour for lunch. In terms of difficulty, you're split up based on your skill level, so everyone is challenged to improve, from people who are born and raised in Japan but moved somewhere else, all the way to people who have zero Japanese knowledge. So this year I had a lot of firsts, including my first time helping to carry a mikoshi during a festival, my first time going camping with Japanese students, and my first time paying bills. Honestly, one of the most enlightening parts of this experience was meeting the other scholarship students. They came from so many other countries like Indonesia, Brazil, Thailand, Cambodia, Argentina, even Palau. That said, one other first I had was my first time working in food service. And my friends did the same. Many of them worked at 7-Eleven, McDonald's, Saizeria, Gusto. I worked at an unagi restaurant on my friend's recommendation. And it was kind of crazy learning to work in another language, taking orders from people, but thanks to my coworkers and boss, the experience was really enjoyable. Finally, that next year, we all moved into our own apartments and started going to the school that offered our majors of choice. In my case, it was industrial design, but I made the switch to illustration after looking at the curriculum. I was really excited to start studying. In my class of about 35, there were about 5 foreigners, and one crazy thing is, in that class, there were only 6 boys. This first year, we had a lot of traditional foundational classes like life drawing, color, anatomy, composition, and perspective. If I could go back in time and tell myself something, it would be to try twice as hard because of how important the skills are. It's something that I still practice and try improving to this day. And I'm sure this is true about studying art anywhere, but work you do outside the classroom, meaning homework, is way more important than exercises you might be doing in class. As far as some of our projects for class, we did a lot of work where we tried to adapt to the specific styles of different IPs, like Grand Blue Fantasy, Love Live, and Final Fantasy. Our teachers were also pretty great, as we had some teachers from Square Enix, just down the street, and several working in manga. If you want more info on the school, just Google Toyo Institute of Art and Design and send them an email. If you have any questions for me, just ask in the comments or by direct message on my Instagram at Kingcucco. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.